Rhenzy, this is such a special series for you. I really find Victor to be so interesting for you. Was there something about him that drew you to be a part of him?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, so much of the show drew me to want to make it. I mean, the incredible writers, the director that we had on board, Craig Zobel, and also the incredible cast in the world that you're joining. I mean, so much made me want to be a part of it. But specifically, Victor, I think that was a really interesting opportunity to show this arc in this character from where he starts off at and where we take him throughout the series. I think that it was really one of the joys of like my life so far to kind of take on the challenge of who he is and try to evolve him as the show goes on.
Was he always meant to have a stutter, or is that just his reaction to being under pressure?
No, no, he's lived his entire life with a stutter, definitely, and yeah, and so it's just made obvious when he was under duress in those couple moments, but I think that the stutter sort of came up through the creatives who were writing it as sort of a way for him to immediately connect and click with Oz. Because Oz has his own disability that he's dealing with, and they come from the same neighborhood. And so I think Oz sort of sees Victor as maybe he sees a little bit of himself in Victor, and he decides to kind of give this guy a chance the same way Oz, got a chance earlier on in his life.
It's interesting because Oz takes his Victor's ID from him, his high school ID from him, but we don't know much about Victor's home life. Is why is he able to just disappear into these adventures with Oz? Were you given much of a background on what Victor's life was like at home?
Definitely was. There's definitely a story there, and as the show goes on, you learn the story. You see what happens. As the series unfolds, you dig into not only the history of Victor, you dig into the history of Oz, you dig into the history of his relationship with Sophia as well, and with his mother. All of it kind of you dive into all of it, and so there's just so much to unpack with these characters. There's so much going on with the plot at the same time that it's you get this kind of dual thing going on where the show doesn't really slow down in pace, but we sort of dive deeper into these people and who they are and where they come from.
Victor is recruited to be this nurse, and he seems all in for it. And stepping into Oz's mom's house, what do you think is going through Victor's mind? He sees these photographs on the wall, but he also knows this man to be violent.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's just definitely fear and a lot of curiosity. He doesn't even know where he is when he walks in. I think pretty quickly he figures it out. Okay, so maybe this is his mother. And then it's immediate back to what kind of relationship do these two have? Where Oz was such this big character that I've seen this entire night, and he's very scary. But his mom put him in his place real quick, with the whole "Don't lie to me, hey, don't lie to me, tell me what happened, tell me what you did." And so there's this whole, it's just this like eye opening, like okay, so she can keep him in check. He's like kind of scared of her almost, and he just told her, confessed about the murder, and she's like okay with it. Not only okay with it, but like encouraging to do more. It's like, all right, so these two are both insane. What am I getting myself into? And how the hell do I get out?
I mean, you're pushed to a normal person's limits when you're asked to, cover for Oz with this body and sort of dismember it in a way that would save Oz's skin. And so quickly, is Victor really that afraid of Oz that he couldn't have gotten away at that moment? Or, I mean, certainly he has his ID, but is there a life not where Victor could have escaped?
There's definitely a world in where that would have been a great moment too. I think that what Oz tells him in that moment, when they're by the car before he goes and sets him on his mission, it does resonate with Victor. There is a moment where it goes, okay, maybe, there's I can help and I can be a part of something. And he's also very afraid and he's very new to this world, but he realizes that maybe there's something here. Let me try. Let me give this thing a shot. And then he gets to the body part, and it's disgusting and it's gross, and maybe he's in over his head. But I'll just do this. I'll just do what I can, send it on its way, and let's see where the sort of the chips lie. But I think he's in over his head at the moment, and I think it's dwelling. I think it's weighing on him on the things that he's doing.
Well, your on-screen relationship with Colin is just exceptional. The work that you put in, the two of you together. Did you spend much time fleshing it out, talking those moments through, or was there just innate chemistry between the two of you? I mean, you could be a buddy comedy at this point.
I appreciate that. No, I think I got really lucky with Colin. I think I got really lucky that because you don't always get that. It doesn't always work out. Where two people can kind of bounce off each other in a way. And I don't think it's not that we rehearsed much beforehand. We kind of wanted to keep it fresh, and these two people are meeting actually for the first time on camera. So there wasn't much of a relationship to build beforehand. It was more let's do this thing in front of the camera. We're building a real relationship in front of the camera. Let's actually build one that way too. And so it was kind of just we just kind of got lucky that he and I were able to get along so well, and that we work in similar ways, and that we were able to hopefully bring something that felt real and true.
What has it meant to you to be a part of an iconic series like involves the Batman?
It's meant a lot. It's very special. It's very cool, and I think when you're in it, it's really hard to zoom out and think about that because you're so focused on the specifics of what's happening, between Victor and Oz, and where does Victor come from, and you're so worried about specifically who this human being is, and his relationship with Oz. And now that we get to sort of sit back and watch the show come out and watch people talk about it, is when you kind of get to understand you're on this HBO show, which already has its own legacy. You're in the DC world, which has its own legacy. You're part of Batman, which has its own thing. And so it's all very exciting, and it's an honor to be a part of it.